our support groups that we hold at the first and third Tuesday of every month, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All are welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Caregivers Gumbo, Caregiving Gumbo. It's a hot mess. I am Nadine Roberts-Cornish.
And I am Al-Nisa Berry.
And we are your hosts. And for the next 15 minutes today, we are talking about the guilt trip. And we're here to let you know that the guilt trip is canceled. All righty. So I don't care where I go in the country, and I have an opportunity to do a Q&A with caregivers after I've had the opportunity to speak. The question of guilt always comes up. A caregiver feeling guilty, being guilty because they have taken time for themselves. And get this, they haven't taken the time for themselves yet. They're guilty thinking about taking the time for themselves. So we are here to dish up a whole new recipe for dealing with the guilt and canceling the guilt trip. So, Al-Nisa, I have heard you talk about guilt in the past, my sister.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me where you were with that and tell me where you are with that.
Thank you, Nadine. Yes, guilt plays a major part in my caregiving journey, especially in the beginning. And I felt at the time, how dare I think about taking time for myself when my mom was in such dire need? How can I consider myself when all that needs to be done is urgent and timely, and I am held completely accountable? And what it did with that guilt was prevent me from caring for myself and
Mm-hmm.
putting myself on the back burner. I'll get around to it. On top of that, it was my mother also giving me the guilt trip
Mm-hmm.
and saying, how can you go to the store? How can you go to the movies? How can you go out with your friends and leave me here by myself? Or leave me with somebody I don't know? I
Mm-hmm.
thought you were supposed to be taking care of me. This don't look like taking care of me. This look like you leaving me.
Ooh.
And it weighed so heavily on my heart. And in the beginning, I would give in, say, "Oh yeah, she right. This doesn't look good. I'm doing something wrong." And
Mm-hmm.
I had to sit with that, prayed on it, and thought about it. I said, "Where does guilt come from? Where does
Mm-hmm.
guilt even come from? That's a mindset. I
Ooh.
need to change my mindset. I need to change my perspective on what it
Uh-huh.
is that I'm doing." So I started, got a piece of paper, and I wrote down all the things that I was doing. She's getting her bath. I'm feeding her. I'm taking her to the doctor. I'm turning the television. All the things that I'm doing. And on the other side, what am I doing for myself? I can barely read a book. I can barely call someone and check on my own affairs and finances or what have you. And I said, what do I have to feel guilty about? I am meeting her needs and abandoning my own.
Mm-hmm.
There's no guilt here. Change your mindset on how you see this, and don't allow her to say things to have me to try and feel guilty, because
Hmm.
it's coming from what she wants. And we all can't get everything that we want. As long as I'm not
No.
causing her any harm, I'm not neglecting her, I'm not putting her aside. It's a both and. It's not an
Huh?
or.
Hmm.
We can satisfy your needs, and I can also take care of myself and satisfy my needs. It's not a one or the other. And once I was able to change that framework and look at it differently, put a different pair of eyeglasses on, Oh, that guilt went right away. And
Mm.
then she stopped because it was no longer working.
Oh, okay. All right. Huh. It was no longer effective.
Right.
Just like the 2-year-old that throws that tantrum. If they don't have an audience, it's so amazing how fast that tantrum stops.
Exactly.
Right? But we continue to give guilt that audience, and the guilt continues. Woo! So I keep wanting to come up with an acronym. And so I'm gonna need your help with this one,
Okay.
okay? I always say, I talk about fear, false evidence appearing real, right? But with guilt, I can't decide. I can't decide if guilt is grace undone and lingering thoughts. Guilt creeps in when grace is absent, when our thoughts replay what we didn't do instead of honoring what we did. Okay, and
Yes.
remembering what we did. Or is guilt grieving unmet ideals, living trapped?
Oh, I like that last one.
Grieving unmet ideals, living trapped. Okay.
Okay.
It says guilt often stems from the distance between what we wish we could do and what's actually possible. It's grief unspoken, and it traps us in the illusion of failure. And then this last one, guilt, giving up inner love and trust.
That's beautiful. That was powerful right there.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Giving up inner love and trust. The weight of guilt pulls us away from the love we should be giving ourselves and the trust we must hold in our own enoughness.
Yes.
I have given enough. I have done enough for today or for this morning. I am now going to take the time that I need to take care of me or to remove myself from this energy, this environment, just so that I can get fed and fueled, so that I come back here with my cup full, with my bowl full, with my belly full, and I have the wherewithal to be able to serve you, to be able to entertain you, to be able to companion you, and to be able to physically take care of you, because I have gone away and I have recognized before leaving, I have recognized my enoughness.
Powerful. Absolutely.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. And so, in our support groups that we hold at the first and third Tuesday of every month, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, all are welcome. We meet via Zoom, and that's the first and third Tuesdays of the month. And you can register at our website, tcgcares.com, and you can talk with us about this. You're listening, and I know I'm hearing some amens out there. I know that this
Yes.
is resonating because this is a topic that no matter where I go, it comes up. And what's always interesting is like the person who most needs to talk about it won't say a word about it. It's somebody else who will bring it up, and it'd be like, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm able to see through the body language exactly who this message is resonating with, who desperately needs to hear this message. Because sometimes we need permission to cancel the guilt trip. Sometimes we need permission to unpack the guilt bags. And sometimes we need permission to say, guilt is being served up today. I'm not having none of that. I'm not having any of it. And the sacrifices that caregivers make, it is so amazing to me that continues to be a, a dominant, a dominant emotion, a dominant reality that binds caregivers, so many caregivers. And it is absolutely my hope and my prayer for anybody listening, anybody that's day in and day out taking care of anybody. And even if it's not day in and day out, if you have the responsibility of routinely taking care of someone, right, where your weekends are are devoted to taking care of someone, just recognizing that sometimes you need to change the schedule. Sometimes you need to take time off, take time away, even if it's a staycation. Sometimes, for some of us, the house is big enough we can go downstairs or upstairs, and sometimes we don't have that luxury. But recognizing that we can take the necessary time away, away from the immediacy, the immediate vicinity of the caregiving in order to feed ourselves, in order to nourish our own souls, in order to replenish. Indeed, I want you to think about that.
Absolutely.
I want you to think about it, and I want you to figure out what guilt works for you. You know, what resonates with you so that you're able to give it up. I'll start with the last one as a reminder: guilt, giving up inner love and trust. How many of us are guilty of that? The weight of guilt pulls us away from the love we should be giving ourselves and the trust we must hold in our own enoughness. And then grieving unmet ideals, living trapped. I felt that way for a while during my caregiving journey because I had given up my career and I was, living my best life when this whole caregiving journey began. And, to have to go from living your best life to now, you doing all kinds of things you didn't think you were going to have to do ever in life, right? And
Exactly.
you're like, this is my life now?
Mm-hmm.
What? Right? And then that grace undone and lingering thoughts. Wow, that one is really, really poetic. Great guilt creeps in when grace is absent. Not giving ourselves grace. We give it to everybody
Yeah.
else. We are so gracious with others and so stingy with grace for ourselves. I like to say now that I am giving myself grace. When I can't do, when I don't meet a deadline, when things don't line up the way that I want them to line up. And let me tell you, this year, there's been a lot of that. And I have given myself grace. I'm not beating myself up anymore about what I didn't get done. I am remembering my enoughness. I am remembering the good that I do every day and the impact that the work that I do has. That's enough. All the other things that I couldn't do or that I didn't do, it's like apparently I didn't need to get them done. It wasn't the perfect timing, it wasn't the right time. And so that is something new that I am learning and I'm embracing, and I'm asking you to consider it as well. And so as we close out today, we want to thank our sponsors, Colorado Respite Coalition. And we want to remind you about our twice monthly caregiver support group, the first and third Tuesday of every month. TCGcares.com. Register. You'll receive a Zoom link. And if you're interested in purchasing any of the Caregiving Gumbo books, Tears or Prayers in My Gumbo, you are welcome to purchase at tcgcares.com. They're also available on Amazon, but it supports us if you purchase directly via the website. So, in closing today, Al-Nisa, you want to take it away? That's not fair. It's just a couple minutes. I'm not even going to do that to you. That means we're going to do another session sooner rather than later. Bye, everybody. Remember, no matter where you're watching the Caregiving Gumbo podcast, we ask that you comment, like it, share it, and pass it on. This podcast grows through sharing.